Hello everybody and welcome to Toolzine, and in today's episode we're going to take a look at the Little Ripper Stripper from Ideal Industries. Okay, what we have here is the Little Ripper Stripper from Ideal Industries. Now taking a look at the tool, it's got a textured slip resistant grip. If you look at the end, it's got a ripper blade to actually rip the outer sheathing of Romex cable. It's got a wire stripping slot here that you can see where it's got I'll move a little closer to the camera there so you can see exactly where the V is where you would strip the wires, and we'll show you that a little bit later. It's got wire looping holes on both sides of the tool here. Next to the wire stripping slot, it has gauges to tell how long of a length of wire you've stripped, from 3/4 of an inch on one side to 20 millimeters on the other side. And I'll move that up there where you can see you've got the 20 millimeters there, 3/4 of an inch on that side there. And then also what you can do is for winged wire nuts, you can insert them in the end of the tool there and it'll catch on the slots there. So you can actually twist the wing nut like this to help you do that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and show you how this tool works with a piece of Romex. We have our piece of 14-2 Romex here. So what I'm going to do to strip it is, like I mentioned before, if you look in the end of there, you'll see the little ripper hook on there. You're going to take that ripper hook and you're going to put it just inside the wire sheathing on there. Then you're just going to slide it up the cable like this. And as you slide it, it's going to rip that cable. So you can then take it apart like this, and you will neatly have your three wires. You'll have your ground wire, and this one's encapsulated in the brown paper here. So we'll get that off to the side. Then you've got your white and your black wire. Now, if you wanted to strip an end off these wires, going back to the tool like we showed you before, you got your little V slot here for the stripping slot. What you're going to do is you're going to take your wire, you're going to put it in the tool like that, press it down, spin it around the cable a good 3, 4, 5 times, and then pull it off. And you'll have a neatly stripped wire. And I'll show you that again on the white wire. You're just going to take the wire, put it in the stripping slot, move it around 4, 5, 6, 7 times, whatever you feel like. There's really no set amount. You just want to make sure you break through the jacket and then pull it off. And then it'll strip the end like that. Now, as we had mentioned before, the tool also has these little looping holes. Now, what these are for is on some ceiling light fixtures, outlets, things like that, where you want to loop it around a screw. What you can do is you can take the actual stripped portion here, and as you can see with our wire gauge, we're at about 1/2 inch. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this in here, and then we're going to curl it, pull it out just a little bit, and then curl it some more. And then as you can see, you've got a nice hook there to put around a screw on an outlet or a switch or anything like that. And we can do it again with the white wire. We'll just go ahead and put it in the little wire looping hole, put it in there, bend it, curl it, and then you've got another one there as well. And then you can do the same thing with the ground wire if you want to. Usually I'd recommend doing a little bit further down, because if you do that, then you can use your hand to push and go around the green screw on there and make it a little bit easier on yourself. Okay, the other thing we mentioned before was that you have the sheath cutter here. So when you have this excess cable sheath like this, what you can do is you can put it in the sheath cutter and just rip it off like that, and it'll take the excess off. So basically what you're doing with this one little tool is, this tool is probably 3 to 4 inches long, weighs a couple of ounces. You can do a lot of what a pair of Klein linesman pliers can do. Now obviously these will do a much heavier duty job, but at the same time, if you're working over your head or working in a tight place, it's a lot easier to hold something like this and do everything with one tool rather than try to sit there and move this around with one hand and do everything else. I mean, if you're a professional, obviously you can do it pretty well with these, but as for a homeowner or DIY type tool, this thing's quite amazing. Okay, one of the things I had mentioned before was that you could use the slots in the tool to use a winged wire nut and to tighten it on there. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these 2 wires here, just for demonstration purposes, and we're going to start getting these wires twisted here slightly, just enough so that they grab. And then we're going to take a red winged wire nut, and I know this is too big of a wire nut for these wires here, but just for demonstration purposes, we'll go ahead, we'll get that started on here. And then what you can do is, as you can see, you've got the winged portion here. Just put that in the slots here on the side of the tool. So what you do is you put this down over like this, and it'll grip a little bit. And then you can actually use the tool as a wrench to go ahead and tighten that wire nut further and get it all on there. And then you can even get it to the point where then it starts twisting the wires for you and get a good solid connection on there. Overall, I really like this little Ideal Ripper Stripper. I've had this particular one for 2 or 3 years, done a few basements with it. And as you can see, it's got a little bit of, I'll get that up close to the camera there, see if I can get some. I mean, you've got a little bit of wear in there, but for several years worth of use in a couple of basements and things like that, it's really held up extremely well. Again, for less than $10, it's an amazing little tool to have. So if you're interested, I'll leave links down in the description below to go ahead and purchase this at either Home Depot or Amazon. And as always, if you like this video, please go ahead, click the thumbs up below, click the subscribe button to see more videos like this. If you have ideas for other things you'd like to see reviewed, please go ahead and leave that in the comments below as well. As always, thank you for watching.